This guy Emmy has been wanting to talk about Maresca, so I mentioned Chelsea, and now he's like, I need to get back in here.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm back.
Oh, we're talking about Nani first.
No, we'll talk about Nani because Maresca also says something about Nani.
He did say something about Nani.
I did not see what he said about Nani.
Bro,
so
this man has not shut up in the press, and it's pissing me off.
It's amazing.
No.
No.
It's not that he shut. They're asking him the questions. I respect for him answering the way he is.
But it's the way he's answering that is just. I don't think any manager should be answering them.
I'm
that
cool
way.
with it.
Oh,
But let me
well,
hold on.
I think they need it.
First, let's talk about the Nani situation. Him saying what he said about Wolves is fucking hilarious.
Nani?
yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
We need more of that. We need more of that in
Yeah.
football, bro.
I don't mind it. I find it funny.
I feel like we have that in America for like other like football, NBA now with how big social media is.
100%.
We need that in the Premier League.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
We do need more of what Madueke did. I don't mind it. That being said, it's obviously a
Did you
mistake.
see him laughing in the freaking press conference?
Bro, it's because of the way they asked him. He was just like, "Yeah, I just put it on the wrong one."
You know,
That's
you
my
know what
fault."
vibes that gave me? You know that Charles Barkley clip where he's talking about that town in Texas and
Yeah.
he's talking shit about it, and they ask him to apologize, and he's apologizing, and Shaq's like, "Why don't you go there?" He goes, "Oh hell no, I'm not going to that town." That's the same vibes, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't mind it. That being said, the way that Maresca's been talking about his players, I don't think anyone should be talking about like that in the press. Like
Like the way he's saying with Mudryk?
the Sterling specific one, I don't mind because Sterling came out with the thing, so he's gonna like defend himself and the team and the club. But
What about the Mudryk one? Have
the
you seen that
Mudryk one I really don't like because he literally said like the players
not
know
playing
if they're
well.
not playing well,
Yeah.
they're gonna come off. But he said it in a way it's like that's not something that the public needs to hear because that's only gonna make it harder
I
for
don't
a
think the
player
public
like
needs to hear it, but we can see him playing like crap.
yes, but Mudryk doesn't need the rest. Like in reality, yes, you can see it. You're hyper focused on your players. A lot of the press isn't gonna look at Mudryk and be like, "You're playing like horribly." But when Maresca comes out and says that Mudryk isn't playing well and that's why he's getting subbed off, now people are hyper focusing on Mudryk.
I feel like it might be the opposite though. I feel like with Poch saying like the players are giving their best, like they're doing all this,
him and Poch did the
it
same
makes
thing.
the fans or like just like the whole like environment like awkward where like it's like, oh, I am giving my best, but like deep down I know I'm not playing well and I'm hearing the outside noise that I'm not playing well. And it's like sometimes you just got to be honest, and then it kind of makes players put their head down. Depending on the player, it makes them put their head down, like work harder, and like no, okay, yeah, like I'm publicly being told that like I'm not playing well. I might as well just like step it up or like
I want to add
just
on
do
to that.
something.
I was gonna say I want to mention Mourinho because that's kind of what he did. He really did. He's one of the managers that calls up players.
Yeah.
He like calls
He
them out.
always
Like,
calls them out.
But,
But I feel like
but at Tottenham, bro, people hated that shit. They hated that shit.
Yeah,
Now,
true.
wait,
but
who
players-
hated it? The team or the fans?
both.
Or both?
Probably both. There's probably both. And
Soft.
then he
I
called
agree.
Tanguy and Dombele. He was like, "You're fat, bro." Pulled up to him and then made him.
And then what has Ndombele done since that? Where is he right
But
now?
he also
He cooked up for a little bit, and then
Yeah, after he got.
I don't
shit
think.
on,
I just think
remember
Ndombele was
watching-
just like a. But that's it's
No,
like
and
it's like-
Dombele was a talent, bro.
No. Let me
was
finish.
class at Lyon.
I think he was just someone who didn't care about the game because he
he
was
did look like he stopped caring.
like he didn't care. It's like when Dembele was at Barca. Like the kid just didn't like he was going out all the time. Like
Sadly.
it was like very obvious he was going out. He was getting injured all the time. He didn't really care about playing. There are players who just
Dude, but
they're
Ousmane
in there-
Dembele
they're
was
literally-
class.
Balotelli.
That
Nah,
last
bro,
year,
Dembele
when you
was
play
different.
when you pay Barca wages,
That's
can
true.
you
But that's my
blame him?
point. When
Yeah.
you pay any wages, like Ndombele just didn't care.
he was
just
one of the
like-
higher wages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He just didn't care. Like some of the players didn't care.
But I want to add on to this Mudryk thing that you said that that Spurs they didn't like that, no one liked that. As a Chelsea fan, when you see Pochettino and Potter saying, "I can tell that they're trying their hardest, they're giving the best that they can." As a fan, when you're watching the game,
Yeah, it's
that's
frustrating.
not at all.
It's like
It's like-
provides like a negative reaction
Like-
with the fan base. It's like that's not what I watched though.
Exactly. I
It's
know
like-
what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a winger who can't be direct. I see a winger who is losing the ball constantly, and it's not even like he's trying to be threatening while he's doing it. He's kind of just nonchalantly just going about the pitch. He's running fast because that's what he does to go recover a ball. And then what does he do with it when he
And
gets it?
obviously
the
Poch like
only thing.
behind the scenes would have probably made like comments to
Yeah,
like
and
the
it-
players
But
themselves.
I don't
like
mind
lying to
making
them.
But it's
comments
like-
to the players, to the player.
I feel like the public thing.
But like the public thing, we've all played FM before. We know that when you say some stupid shit about a player in public, it doesn't look well on the player, and the player doesn't like it.
The team likes
Like
it.
They don't have to like it.
but
They're
no-
playing like shit.
Yeah.
But
that's
that,
it.
but it's
I feel like it's
if you
soft.
want this player to play well, you can't sit there
Bro,
and bash him in the press.
Bro, Pep does it.
Pep does not do it to the level. Maresca's,
no, not to the level of that.
But that's
like,
my point. There's a small amount that I'm okay with. But the way Maresca's been going off on players, because he went on not just on Mudryk. He said it about
He said about a lot of players.
About Madueke.
He did say it about Madueke.
He said something.
And
I mean,
look
obviously,
look what happened. What did Madueke
bro,
do
you have to
with
hold
that?
the players
That's what-
accountable.
Yeah, honestly,
Madueke scored a hat trick.
I'm not against
Played
it.
well.
I can see both sides of it though. Because
Wolves gave that man the same shot 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that was
And just
crazy.
going to you like,
Still gotta
But for
finish.
Chelsea to put those 3 chances away.
No,
That's
no,
rarity.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Madueke put 3 chances away. I mean, they put 6 goals away, so it's not like
Yeah, that's
it wasn't like.
By the way,
they
we played
washed
like
them.
garbage that game. That
Yeah, but
first
Wolves
half, I
just
don't know-
looked like
Conceding
fucking
2
shit.
to
No,
Wolves
it was
is
the
a
way that
nightmare,
we,
bro.
The way that we conceded to was awful.
The game opened up for y'all in the second half.
We got so lucky that it did because they have higher XG than us that game, and we scored 6.
I'm just
like, that's-
listen.
Well, I do understand the thing with the Maresca like being
Yeah,
too open because I feel like maybe he should have learned like maybe he should know his players first. Like I don't know, he could know them well, but it like you have to know if that's the type of player that you can talk about in the media freely
Yeah.
without negatively impacting their play.
And
So like a Madueke instance, maybe that is like
Yeah.
the thing
I'm
that drove
surprised he
him
even
to play
started.
well.
I'm surprised he started after. the
Yeah,
comments
maybe
the night
he like
before.
turned up like
But my point is, every day for like the past 2 weeks, I've been seeing maybe 2 weeks as much. But Maresca said something in the press, and I don't know if it's 2 or 3 press conferences that are like spread out through tweets. But Fab has not stopped talking about everything Maresca's saying.
It's any press conference before a
Yeah,
game.
but
so
but
we've
my
already
point
had
is, it's probably like 2 or 3 press conferences where they're just
within
taking
a week.
quotes.
We've had 3. So
Exactly.
That's why.
So
we've
like,
seen it.
I understand that, but like, even I think the Sterling thing at first was okay, but even today he said some shit about Sterling. He was like Sterling knows he's no longer in the team.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you haven't
yeah.
sold
But
the
you know
player
what it
yet.
is?
He
the-
said he
But
said that.
they're also asking him the question
Hold on,
about
yeah.
Sterling.
No, he said that all the players that are training separately, none of them are ever.
Yeah.
But
And
th- but
honestly,
Including
but-
Sterling. And
but-
like that.
yeah, he's like
to
I have
me-
my squad.
But what
these
is he
are
supposed to
who's-
say?
You're a trained professional. You're supposed to avoid the question. Like, you're not supposed to
Nah.
sit there.
I do understand.
I understand
that
the
you're supposed to
idea-
be media trained to like
But
try to keep
I
everyone
understand.
happy,
I
but
understand the idea of like
I don't like that.
these guys are
It's
being
so
soft.
fake.
They're being soft, whatever. But like, you're not only are you, which is really surprising to me that Chelsea are okay with this, because you're bashing players that you're trying to sell, which means teams aren't
He's not
going to
really
pay as much.
bashing, though.
I wouldn't say he's
He
bashing.
literally,
he's out of
literally
the-
said
he's just
Sterling
saying he
wasn't good
doesn't-
enough to play for the team.
It-
He didn't say he
didn't
was.
that.
He
No,
never
no,
said
no,
he
no.
wasn't good
He
enough.
actually said he was like, I understand his qualities. It's just it doesn't fit the way I want to play. That is what he
He
said.
never said he was.
And
good.
he
wasn't
also
good
said
enough.
that for Ben
Oh, maybe I
Chilwell.
just read it
Ben
wrong.
Chilwell is a wide left back who is a up and down left back that plays very attacking. That is not what Maresca wants, and he already. And this is our vice captain,
But I
by the
think
way.
you wait till they leave
Chilwell
the
was
club.
our vice. Yeah, but you can't wait for them to leave the club and just have them in the lineup, like hoping that they're going to play.
You don't have to be in the lineup. And what
Or even in
Sterling
the
did is a
squad.
different situation.
We
I'm
also
not
have a lot
saying
of players.
a
So-
lot of players, but
They're actually going away, but
yeah, whatever. You always
We
say,
haven't
oh,
sold
we're
them.
selling more than
we only
No,
have
shut up,
7 or
you're
8 more that need to go. And
Okay.
I know
Only.
7 or 8
Only.
more is a crazy
with
number.
how many
brother.
days left in
It's
the
almost a
window?
full. It's almost a full 11.
But people are saying we have 42 people in our squad. No, we don't. We have 22, 23
Okay,
starting.
your named squad, yes, it's 22, 23.
There's
Then
still
you
like
have-
30
you
something
have
in the
like
training
5,
ground.
6 players that are starting quality players that are sitting around not
That's
getting
true.
called up. My point in saying this is these like players in general, like we've seen it over time, like not especially not a new manager who just came in, who's just now trying to like soften get like work into the team.
Two.
Thank you. Someone who's you're trying to like work with the team, and a 6-2 win is a great win, but I don't see that being helpful down the line because like now Madueke like is gonna want his starting spot. You have 3 or 4 players that are gonna want to be playing as well. Like you have a bunch of players that are fighting for the same spot, and when you're sitting there like speaking not so highly about some of the players you have on your squad, like everyone's gonna be on edge, and like, sometimes that's not good for players. Like I know sometimes competition is great. You want the competition because you want them to continue their consistency.
Mm-hmm.
But when one mistake leads to something being said in the press that's gonna like bash you as a player,
But it's not just one mistake; it's a poor performance.
He's had multiple poor performances.
dude, they played one game.
It's not. He didn't even play yet. Oh, you're
No,
talking about Mudryk?
No, I'm saying
Sterling hasn't played
been
for us.
I'm saying my point. It's been 2 games, and he's spoke. And I promise you, if I go look, I promise you I can find more because it's not just Madueke. It's just not Mudryk. There are a bunch of players in that team that are getting like shit said about them that it just doesn't like is unnecessary. It's to an extent. I just think what Maresca's doing and the way like you are a trained
I
professional.
think you're hearing a lot of the same. Like the Sterling news has been the same news for the past like 2 weeks.
No,
And
no,
he
no,
keeps getting
not the
asked the
news,
question.
but my. Yes, at one point, avoid the question at one point. Stop adding to it. Like
I
stop.
mean, he's not really adding. He's just reiterating what he's already said in
Oh,
the past. And I'm going to say this one more thing. Chelsea's best managers have all been brutally honest managers. We've had Jose Mourinho, who's very aware of talking about how he feels, how he plays. That is Chelsea DNA. Not that this ownership knows what Chelsea DNA is yet, but we've also had Carlo Ancelotti, who's been a very vocal member in our dressing room, who's another successful manager. And Jose Mourinho for the second time. Okay, I already said my point on him. Antonio Conte, another person who took press conferences very seriously and spoke his mind. Then we went from Antonio Conte to Maurizio Sarri, who barely spoke any English. So I'm not even going to say that. Then we went to Frank Lampard, Potter, Pochettino. 3 kiss asses. And I love Frank Lampard. I literally have his jersey right here, so I'm not trying to shit talk him as a player. Great player, not the best coach, and that clearly shows. However, this is the manager we need. We need this team to get put into shape because they're all young, and that's not his fault. That's not Maresca's fault. That's the hand he's been dealt. And I think as a coach, you need someone who's going to be stern with you, tell you what's going on and how you're going to play. And if you're not in my plans, he's very honest. He says in the press, I think Chilwell's a great player. He just doesn't fit my system. I think Sterling's a great player. He doesn't fit my system. Mudryk, the bashing on Mudryk, I think he deserves it. I think the price tag is looming over his head. People keep saying he's 100 mil. He's not. He's 68 million pounds. He's not getting any add-ons anytime soon. But that's still 68 million pound investment. You have to put him into shape because you could see what's there. He scored 2 goals against Real Madrid while he was on Shakhtar. This guy's talented, but he's not trying. It doesn't look like actually, I know what he said. He said Mudryk's final decision, his IQ of the game is not good. And that's something he can work on. That's something we can work on. That is a quote that he did say. Maybe not those specific words, but about his IQ. That's what Maresca did shame him on, was his IQ. And that's something that he wants him to learn. So being able to explain this to the press, explain this to the fans who have dealt with people saying, oh, I think Chelsea have tried their hardest. My players, they look really good. They're doing the best they can. We just got unlucky with the results. To be fair, we probably outplayed them on XG under Potter and Pochettino, but that's not an excuse. Put the fucking ball in the net. Get the 3 points. That is what this team needs, and we have no mentality until this manager came in.
Listen, I agree with everything you said. I just think there's a level where like that needs to happen behind closed doors. And the level of like pushing, the level of like holding players accountable. I mean, I tried scrolling through Fab's tweets because everything I see is always because Fab is the one I had. Like I tried finding, I couldn't find much. I found like the Sterling one. I found something he said about Nicholas Jackson. Found again, the chances are Fab might also be a Chelsea fan, so I just constantly get.
He's actually a Watford fan.
He's getting paid.
Isn't that
by
crazy?
Chelsea.
He's getting paid by Chelsea.
He's getting paid by Chelsea. But
I love
all that to say is I agree with you. I do think that style of manager, it could be helpful to what you guys are looking for, but most of the time that should be happening behind closed doors. Most of what we're seeing should be happening behind closed doors. The discussion, like the telling the press that you said Raheem knows what he has to do. He's not going to get any minutes if he stays. That's not something you need to tell the press at all.
Okay. I want to reiterate something because I did find a Sterling tweet from 8 hours ago. Maresca confirms there's no way back for Sterling. He's a fantastic guy, but only thing is every manager has a different idea.
Yeah,
he is not the type of winger I like. That says nothing about him.
His
the
stats
history and the numbers speak for Raheem.
Yeah.
He's also said, this is to add on to your point, Maresca on Sterling, Chalobah, and others. All the players who in this moment are training apart will not get any minutes in case they stay. My advice to Sterling, he knows exactly what he has to do. It's not just Raheem, it's all of them.
But that makes it so much. You understand how hard it is for Sterling to get the move that he wants now?
Especially when you're on $325K a week, it's very hard to get that money that he's guaranteed in his contract. It's very hard to get.
And now it's even harder.
And now it is harder.
But that's something that one, for the sake of Chelsea, shouldn't be doing that because
to be fair, it kind of like drops their price. It's like you transfer listing them essentially.
Price, but now clubs know this kid wants to leave, so I can offer him a lot less than what I maybe would have had to pay for him.
But he doesn't have to take it
just to get first. But to get first team minutes.
But now that's bad for Chelsea because Chelsea have to pay someone 320 minutes. I mean 320 mil, and then 320 a week.
We got it.
Yeah. Point is that happens, and then you have to navigate that because then at one point Chelsea are going to be pressing Maresca to play players that he might not want to play, and the reason Maresca was brought in originally, from everything I saw, was like he's a yes man. It's obvious that he might not be that. He's accepting the signings that they're making. I don't know if they're all his or not. He's accepting the signing that they're making, but he's not a yes man in the terms of like if they're gonna push him to like play the players that they feel should be playing because of budgeting, whatever it is. It becomes a different story. I just like I said, I didn't even look up.
No,
I could probably find more.
I don't think they'd force him to play anybody because they already changed Sterling's. They already gave away Sterling's number.
Yeah, that was a little disrespectful.
That was disrespectful, but I don't think that's on Maresca. Anyways.
No, I don't think so either.
But just to piggyback off what you said earlier about like the brutally honest coaches succeeding at Chelsea, I don't think that's just at Chelsea. I think that's like
most coaches around the world.
If you look at the,
it's also Tottenham.
Everyone fails at Tottenham.
Everyone fails at Tottenham. Literally every.
But I will
one.
say, like those coaches don't.
You can get in on it.
The success rate isn't very high. They go through 3 or 4 times where it doesn't work.
But so does
how many times
coach.
did it not work for Mourinho before it did? Like, and then you.
Whoa, for which? Wait, at Chelsea or different clubs?
In general, like
he's almost never
I
failed
feel like
besides Spurs.
and United.
He won a
Europa League.
With the filet.
Yeah. I think Mourinho. I think Mourinho.
That was his greatest.
I'll retract my statement. I think Mourinho is probably the exception. He's one of the greatest managers of all time.
Yeah,
second greatest.
Yeah, I just said one.
Second greatest.
I wouldn't say second. I'd say behind maybe Sir Alex.
No.
Pep, Sir Alex.
Bro, I could sport a 4-4-2 with that lineup every fucking Sunday and be top Premier League winner too.
I mean, why? Listen, we're not gonna get into that.
I want to add a little bit, but the Sterling thing, you're talking about how it's going to ruin Chelsea's because now we dropped his value. We signed him for £48 million. Okay, so now think about it like this: this is a Chiesa to Liverpool type of situation where they spent £12.5 million after add-ons to buy him. This is the same thing Motta did. Motta said, Chiesa's not in my plans. He has to find a solution out of the club. 10 million plus 2.5 add-ons.
Exactly. It's nothing.
Exactly. But this is what top clubs do.
But what is Sterling's contract? When is it till?
It's not long. It's not. He doesn't have a 7-year deal like everybody else. I think it's 2 more years left because he was one of the signings in the beginning.
Deals are definitely doable.
I think he goes for 20 million.
Raheem can find a club.
But it's not.
So
you have to
3 years
understand.
left.
You have to understand. It's not so much. It's not so much what Chelsea are getting for Sterling, but it's like you're making the amount of money they'd spend alone in a year to pay Sterling is probably close to.
It depends if someone comes in to sign us. We don't have to pay Sterling anything unless the only way that happens.
You don't have to pay Sterling anything. Point is, if Sterling now is going to be a lot harder for him to go find the wages he wants at another club.
And
it was always going to be hard.
Realistically,
it was always going to be another hard. But now he has to take an even bigger pay cut, which he might not want to do, and he'll just sit
realistically,
down
he stays at the club.
At the end of the day, that's just a job market.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But he's making the job market. It's making it harder.
It's unfair, but it's like tough shit.
No, it's not just unfair. It's bad on everybody at the club when he does that.
It is kind of
there's
screwing Chelsea
there's
over
only
a
a benefit if he doesn't say that because it might be a little bit easier for Sterling to find his wages. There might be more money involved for Chelsea if they try to sell him.
Or he just sees out his contract and Chelsea have to pay.
Which now
could happen.
Exactly.
Which happened with Malang Sarr. Happened with Drinkwater. We've eaten those. Malang Sarr was on 100,000 pounds a week.
I'm not
Malang Sarr, the guy who never played.
Listen, I agree with you. I agree with you. Sterling's on 300.
I know.
320.
Which is why we're
ruining the chances of him going to somewhere else possibly by lowering what people are going to offer him because if he wants to play, he's going to have to take a huge pay cut now.
And he doesn't have to.
Anyway,
I don't think he has to take a huge pay cut.
Yes, he does. Where's he going to go?
Bro, Sterling is still one of the top wingers in the Prem, and he's most likely starting wherever he goes.
What team? He's not starting at any of the top 5 teams. I mean, top 6 teams.
That's the issue.
And any of the teams outside the top 6 aren't going to pay the wages that high. It's going to destroy their wage structure.
I feel like there's a whole different conversation that doesn't have to do with Chelsea and doesn't have to do with Maresca.
Of course it does.
No, hold on, let me finish. If he's going to sign for another club, okay, he's going to have to take a pay cut, but he's going to get paid his value. Do you think Sterling deserves $325K a week right now the way he's playing?
Definitely not.
Of course not.
Fuck no. So it's just a job market. He's going to get paid what he's valued at. And if he gets to play, he gets to play. If he doesn't, I mean, that's when it's on Chelsea. If he doesn't get to play at all this season because they held on to him. But
that's what
that's what he's saying.
What I'm saying is that is what might happen. That's a much higher possibility.
If he leaves to a club and he gets a pay cut, there's you can't.
But it's a much higher possibility now because of what Chelsea said.
It's true.
Because of what Maresca said.
And he has 3 years.
So what he's saying is about blaming Chelsea is the fact that
not even Chelsea, just Maresca specifically,
or just the outspokenness about his situation is potentially going to cost Chelsea money if he doesn't find a transfer.
Lukaku also did the same thing in a way. Lukaku and Sterling are the hardest sales that Chelsea are ever going to have because Lukaku spoke badly about Chelsea while he was on Chelsea, and they had to get rid of him. So now there's only one team in the market for him, which was Napoli because he didn't want to go to Saudi. So we had to find a way to get money from Napoli, one of the hardest teams to negotiate with, to pay a good value for him. And we got lucky. We got so lucky. We got 30 million euros plus the 15. So it's a 45 million if he hits the add-ons, which is his release clause was 38 million pounds, and that basically equates to that in pounds if it hits. The problem, and he was on 325K a week as well on Chelsea. He had to take a pay cut to go to Napoli, but I don't know how much the pay cut is. I just know it was.
But Lukaku likes Italy.
He loves Italy.
Sterling's never left England.
Exactly. So the only teams that were linked with Sterling, I saw Juve, I saw Man United, which Man United said that they don't want him, and Crystal Palace was an option, and he declined Crystal Palace, is what I heard. So this is the issue.
So if he's declining clubs, that's on him.
That is on
But
him.
he's
No, yeah, but
declining
what,
clubs
but what
because
he's
they're
saying
not
is
matching his wages.
Not
Yeah,
matching
is
his
Chelsea
Or
Chelsea
even
are
matching
kinda
his
like-
wage demands. Maybe not what
Chelsea
he's
might
getting,
have
but
to
what he wants.
just
This is
be
the one
like
that we're gonna
just
eat.
see
They're
out the
gonna have to
contract.
eat 320 pounds for the
honestly,
next 3 years.
I doubt it's going to
Maybe
be
not 3
for 3
years.
Honestly, not even. They could do the same thing they did with Lukaku in the past years and just loan him out and
just
share
get
wages.
some-
But he also
Yeah.
still has to accept the loan too.
He has to
yeah,
accept.
but at that point, it's like
If he wants to play,
I'm sure
he'll be-
Chelsea are doing everything they can to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't think Maresca's words.
I'm
are
not
really
saying
affecting that.
I'm not saying they're not. Chelsea as a whole are. Maresca's words are making it significantly harder. That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
Xavi got
think
sacked
so.
for this reason, trying to get rid of somebody, and the board didn't like it. The board have said nothing about Sterling's situation. They're backing Maresca, saying, listen, if you don't want him, that's fair. He's not your signing. He was a signing of 3 coaches ago.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't fit how you want to play, that's fair. It's just tough because you completely isolated him, and that makes his value completely tank. And I get what you're saying. It's going to be hard to sell.
Same thing is going to happen to Ben Chilwell.
Same thing
Because
happened to
Sterling isn't
Chiesa,
the
same
only
thing happened to
situation.
all these players.
It's going to happen to multiple players, and it's.
So-
I mean, I don't even know the full list of the players that he's
Right
isolating.
now, it's good.
Chalobah.
It's Chalobah.
But Chalobah had there was a market for Chalobah.
And you know what's
West Ham
crazy?
wanted Chalobah.
You know what's crazy? He actually
He
I've
played
been
all
seeing-
preseason. Did Chalobah play?
No, he didn't play that much.
I saw
Only a little bit.
Chalobah play some
It was
of the
Disasi
preseason.
mostly. The thing is, now we're looking because Chalobah apparently took this whole situation really well, which is crazy. And apparently, we're trying to list Disasi up. Newcastle, we were trying to sell him to Newcastle. Disasi, not even Chalobah. So there might be even a chance that Chalobah plays for us, which would be awesome because he's a great.
Chalobah was like, "Get me out of Chelsea." I fuck, mate. I'm on board.
him and
Get
his
me
brother.
out of here.
I think
Nathaniel
to
left
move
us, now him.
to move on from this,
Yeah, yeah.
I think Maresca's attitude, although in some cases can be good, specifically with the volume of what he's saying as consistently as he's saying it, is at this point only negatively affecting what Chelsea are doing.
I just think it's indifferent. It's like I don't think it really affects anyone negatively or positively. I just think it's the way it is.
Yeah,
There's been club breakdowns like this when new hires have come in in the past. And
Seeing
It's not
Chelsea media on
unrealistic
Twitter
to
every
say
single
stuff.
day, they're mostly. This is the first time I've seen a lot of people are in agreement that they're happy that Maresca is calling these players out, is being honest.
Yeah,
with the
after
media.
years
the
of
culture
shit,
change,
yeah,
yeah.
you
Culture
want.
change.
I understand.
bad for
fully
so long,
It's not
man.
a great idea. I feel bad for Sterling because at the end of the day, he's still a good player. Like he's
Good
costed
player,
us
he's a-
point, but so did everyone else. So I can't really get on his back.
He came into it like a not.
Yeah,
a
he was
great-
supposed to be the marquee guy when we signed him.
Yeah,
I
in
still think
2022.
Chiesa's situation was worse than him. Chiesa was Juve's star kid.
Yeah, diamond player
and
right
and
there.
Malta just came in and was like,
Nah,
nope.
I thought he was gonna use him. I thought that would have been a great.
And
signing for
honestly,
him.
Chiesa was easy to sell. Okay, they only got 12 million for him, but
It's too-
when
I'd
you
say
don't-
only 12 million.
I mean, that's nothing.
Exactly.
for Chiesa?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. The
that's
market
what I
of
just
what
said.
we're living in,
yeah,
No,
they
only
all-
getting 12 million isn't just like they only got 12. It's they only got 12 million when that's a 60
But-
million pound player minimum.
I don't think about 60. Bro,
No,
To
back
be
when-
fair, to be
but
fair,
before
he's
his
barely
injury,
got.
yeah.
He's barely got. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
has a
Like in the
plethora of
Euros,
injuries,
he after the Euros, yeah. But then
But the Euros
since
were
then, he really
2020.
hasn't contributed much to that Juve team at all. Like he's like a good attacking player, but he'd never really had like a fully
after the
like,
Euros they won.
after the
Yeah.
Euros that they won, yeah. And then his injuries kind of riddled him a lot. He just never really turned back up.
I mean,
but-
And his final contribution, like
maybe
it wasn't
60 is
ever
a lot,
there.
But if Pedro Neto's going for 60, I think he's
But
going.
it worked.
He's going for
at the end
anywhere
of the
around
day,
that.
It worked
number.
out for him.
Prem tax.
Prem tax.
It worked
Of
out
course.
for him. Guess what? Like, because when you're trying to offload players like that, any money is money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If he's not in the
Especially
plans,
getting the
bro,
wages
money
off.
is money.
I mean,
Yeah, and the
especially
wages
at
off.
his age too, where he wants to play. Like that's
Just
another
think
thing
about
too.
FM, bro. Once you load into a FM, if there's players you don't want, you accept the first bid. You're like, all right, fuck off. Get out of my
Even if
sight.
it's half the
It's the
price, you're
same
kinda
shit.
okay with
Yeah,
it.
you're like, all right, fuck
Get
off.
off my books.
Bro,
Yeah,
there's
but that's not
100 mil val player.
Yeah, but
you're not
that's
getting any
because
offers. You
that's
get
because
one
that
offer
money
for
isn't
50. You're like,
yours.
all right,
That's because that money
But-
doesn't
but-
exist.
but-
When the
true.
club actually exists and
Exactly.
the club needs the money, they're gonna want
The
it.
club and the coaches is a different thing, though. And if the coach isn't going to play him, all right, you take whatever you could get for him. And it worked out for Chiesa because I think he got a better move than most players would in
Yeah,
that
I agree,
situation.
especially
And I
'cause
think,
he doesn't do
He
much. hasn't.
Chiesa benefited a bunch. He was
Yeah.
going to a team
But to
that
be
don't
fair,
really
they
have.
so many attackers.
and I think,
Yeah, but they also didn't
I
sign
think
anyone.
Sterling can also benefit if he leaves the Prem.
Sterling
if
is
he leaves
gonna-
the Prem, I think he
No
can
one's saying
benefit a lot.
Sterling is going to benefit 100% because he's going to be able to go and play. he might not get the wages he wants, but he gets
It's
to
just
go
the
and play.
fact if Chelsea are going to
and this,
benefit
my
from
my
it or
point in
not.
saying this is
Like if they can
Chelsea
sell him,
aren't
then
gonna.
yeah.
There is no benefiting situation for Chelsea.
No, there is.
And
It's selling him. There
they
is.
don't have to.
His
There-
wages
there's-
are off the books,
No, of course not. But my point
and
is,
they get a transfer fee.
my
for
point
him,
is
then-
with what he said. There is no benefit to Chelsea with him saying that, because if he doesn't say that, all the numbers are just a little bit higher. Some maybe
yeah,
significantly.
but to be
but
fair,
a little
even
higher.
if he didn't explicitly say he's not in his plans for the season, and just teams seeing like just any team seeing him not even named in the squad for every game, I mean, it's evident
Yeah,
he's not going to be in the
but
thing
teams-
regardless.
But teams also do that, and then players get worked back in.
Yeah,
He's verbally said he
I
is
mean,
not going to get
Not when you
minutes
give
this
away
season.
the number.
He gave
I
away
mean,
his
that
number.
too, yeah.
No,
He's
done.
verbally
He's
said
done.
he's not getting
well,
minutes
it's not
this season.
Maresca's choice to give away the number.
Yeah.
I think that was mostly a board thing. Because
That's probably a board
The
thing.
problem was
Has
they gave
to.
Neto the number, the 19, and then now they're like, oh shit, Sterling really isn't going to play. So now Neto took the 7 because he's like, hey, listen, I might as well take this jersey. The reason that they had to do that whole situation soon was because people already bought the 19 jersey, and then now they have to refund this jersey, get him the 7, because Chelsea already said, like, if you have a 19 Neto jersey, come and we'll replace it for you for free. Because it was just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. I don't know. Okay, but
I will say,
onto
last part.
yeah.
So Sterling still has 28 million pounds in book value left for Chelsea. If Chelsea somehow sold Sterling for 28 million pounds, we would come away neutral on the deal. So we're going to take a loss regardless. But this is also a huge thing, is that we're getting rid of 16 million pounds a year in wages. So 3-year contract, that's what, 49 million pounds, give or take?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like 49 million pounds left on his contract. If we could just flog him for the wages, make sure he's out the club, we've already benefited. So this is a very important sale.
And
I
they
don't
could
even
sign
care.
4 more
I
players.
think.
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
the
I guess.
amortize-
Yeah.
the
I guess.
amortization,
The way I see it is like
Osimhen.
like what you possibly could have made out of this could have been a lot more.
It could have been. It
Like
could have been. But
you're
not-
saying what 28?
28
28
million is
would-
the remaining profitable book value. Anything over
Exactly.
is profit, anything under
I think
is
Sterling.
a loss.
I think before that would have gone for like 35, maybe 40.
Yeah, I would say 30, 40 is
30,
in the
40.
right
I think
range
Juventus
for him.
would have paid a good amount. I think
Juventus are broke.
some.
They also they bought 3 midfielders.
Yeah, now they did. Now
Yeah.
they did. But I'm saying like I think there are like some Premier League teams that would have paid a good amount. I think
Yeah.
Sterling could have gone back to City for a decent amount. Like I don't know.
United seem like the only option right now. I don't
Right
think
now, yeah.
Pep is not interested in
No,
Sterling.
not
You
at
see
all.
what he said?
Yeah, I saw
Well,
that too.
He's
Yeah,
like,
but-
he
but-
is Chelsea player.
He said the same thing about Gundogan though.
He did.
He did say
I
the same
did
thing
see.
about
I saw that.
He
was
said
like,
the same thing about Gundogan. I think that's just
And he
because
was saying-
Maresca said the same thing about Sancho.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's just a mentality thing, I guess. But